you're watching Managing Your Money Blues with Olma. This is actually part 2 of a 2-part interview I did with Tony Sabio. If you didn't catch the first half, I invite you to check it out and find out more about this very interesting man. By the way, in case there is any question on the matter of my political leanings, I am an independent, which means I am not with any political party, so I am not endorsing any party with this interview. But even though I consider myself an apolitical person, I do vote when I think I should, and I vote who I think would be a good fit for the position. To anyone who asks, I am but a simple total wellness coach and business consultant here to help in whatever way I can. I invite everyone to take advantage of my complimentary discovery session to find out how I can help you. You can find my contact information at the end of the video. So, without further ado, here is the final half of my interview with Tony Sabio. And I will see you next Monday.
And one of the things I also said was get involved in your local elections. That's where we actually make the impact. So I'm sitting there, he's asking me stuff. I said yes. And I'm thinking back to it. I was like, why did I say yes to that? I'm starting my new business up. I got my clients, building more clients. I'm like, why? So I'm kind of going to do it, but kind of not, still reluctant. And then I get endorsed in April of, mid-April of this year. I get endorsed by the Republican Party out of Fairfax. And, start talking to people. And we're really talking to people. Before I used to go to some events, I'm a potential candidate. We used to have talk engagements, spoke. But this is where I really started, talking to people, because now I'm like, okay, well, now I'm endorsed. So I'm in. And then found the need. And there's a huge need in our society. So my whole goal was to go in school safety, mental health, and academic excellence. Talking points, those were what I wanted to do. Those are my strong points. But then I started seeing that there is a lack of true leadership we're missing in Fairfax County, and I suspect it's going to be everywhere, because we have such a big division that we need leaders to come in here and try to mend these bridges. And that absence, I started seeing it in my own party, the absence of leadership, guidance and leadership. And I talked to a lot of other candidates and helped them navigate. And you got me that has never did any politics, helping other people in politics as I'm learning, but help navigate and work with them. And I think because of everything I've done in the military and the Secret Service, and then especially in the CIA, where it was all about leadership. And the CIA, I was blessed to be able to go through hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of schooling, because we have our own people coming in teach us leadership. And I took advantage of all that. I could see the thirst and the need, and this campaign has changed from what I was really harping on was school safety and then mental health. I found that that's secondary. So the main thing I want to focus on with my campaign is now focus on is parent rights and bridging that gap. And within that, everything else falls within that. I've already started trying to work and reach out, and it's been hard, with the far left, especially within the trans movement, and talking with them on, okay, how can we move forward together and without by building bridges versus this is what our way and we want 100% of this and that's it, or on the opposite end, this is our way, we want 100%. There's got to be collaboration. There's none. So we started working through that, and there's people on the far right that don't like me, and then the far left don't like me because, and some of the people that I've reached out that on the far left, that's part of the LGBTQ trans community, I have talks and breakfasts with, and they get pressured to talk with me. And what I'm seeing is the two far ends of both spectrums want this division. They don't want unity. They want the division. They want their way, and that's it. The other 80% of the people, like you and I, sit right here where, hey, we can work this out. We compromise on a lot of these things. But there's a lot of people in the middle, Democrat and conservative, that are seeing it my way to where, hey, let's compromise. They just never had a leadership that came in speaking this way. And I always tell people, one right shouldn't be infringed upon another. So, if you don't want to infringe on trans rights, you can't infringe on females' rights. And just to say the females are fine with it, that's still, if there's one female that does not feel fine with it, then we have to respect that. And so I'm trying to bring that more common sense approach. It's a battle, I can tell you that, but I'm really battling between the two extreme sides and not the majority of the people.
So you mentioned parent rights. So what are those actually?
So parents, this is funny because I've been having a huge debate on this on Twitter and even with people that text me on the left side. So on their end, they believe in children's rights, which I believe children have rights, but I also believe that children are children, and parents are their legal guardians, and parents are there to raise the kids. They're more in the sense that it's a community that raises the kids. And I say no, the sanctity of being a parent falls within that. I said, listen, I support all parents. So if you're a parent and want to give your rights of your kids off to the schools and the government, I support your right 100%. Go do it. But if you're a parent that wants to keep the sanctity of raising your kids and want a say in the decisions that happen in school and government for your kids, then I support that. You should have all the rights to do that. Nobody should be infringing upon that. Because this is honestly how I feel. I feel, I'm a constitutional conservative. I believe in, limited government. I believe in liberty for each individual. And I believe in the rule of law. So if laws are in the book, you need to follow that. That's what makes our society civil. You have laws, custom and norms. So those three things I believe in. So if I go to the liberty portion, you have the liberty to live your life as you want to. And that's given to you. And I'm going to defend that. If you feel, as far as liberty, you want to give all your rights up to the government, hey, I support that. That's your right, So taking that feeling of what I defended my whole life, and I'm taking that into the political realm, I told a lot of people, I'm not going to pander just for votes. This is who I am. And I think that 80% of America is in the same area I'm in. They just haven't had that injection of leadership to say, hey, it's all right. We're fine. We don't have to pander to either side just so you don't get harassed. But I think a lot of regular Americans were more focused in, I just don't want to deal with it. They yell and scream they on both sides. I don't want to do any of this. I like my happy life. Just leave me alone. And I think what we need that injection of true leadership to say, hey, listen, we're going to fight against both because both sides are wrong. It's completely wrong.
I'm hearing you, and it seems logical.
Yeah.
Right,
Definitely does.
What you said. But I'm also hearing that this seems to be just the start.
I told some people in my last speech that I'll confer with Mr. Finn, my dog, on any steps further. If people want me to move further beyond this, then I will move further beyond this. So yes, I think very much there will be further things coming from this. I stay true to what I say. I'm going to run for school board. I'm going to win school board. I'm going to fix everything. I actually have certain promises there. I said, I will get your schools up to security standards in 6 months, which is a guarantee. And I'll tell it to everybody. 6 months, barring any administrative roadblocks, which will be completely transparent. If I have full autonomy to fix schools and get them up to security standards that is needed, it'll be done in 6 months. Right now, after Uvalde, they hired a third-party company, single source. So single source means there's no other bidding. So just one company to do a complete assessment of all the schools. That was after Uvalde. It's over a year, and we still don't have an assessment. They're not doing any security upgrades until they get that assessment. There's no reason why we're waiting for a survey. They could do the survey. We're paying them as tax dollars. Why are we paying another $500,000 to another company for a service that we could do internally? So I want to come in. I want to take care of this, fiscally make them more responsible, make them more transparent. I want to fix the schools. I want to concentrate on that. And then after that, I'm open to continue to help out. I see this kind of corruption everywhere with everything. It's just mismanaged, poor leadership. Everyone has an agenda, what they want to push. We start talking about the border crisis. What are we going to do about all the people that are already here? Kick them out? They're already here. So yes, we do need to shut the border off purely from a security standpoint. We've got to shut the border down. But from a humanitarian aspect, there should be a pathway for people that are coming to America to be able to get here. And also for the people that are already here, what are we doing for them? We can't just send them back. And so how do we work with getting those people established into the system legally? And then how do you take that stigma? What I found right now, everyone looks on the media about the African American white stigma, the clash, Black Lives Matter. There's more. There's more hatred or racism towards brown-skinned people. You and I, Hispanics, Asians, South Asia. There's more towards that than anywhere else.
I haven't gone to that.
But it's hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's bringing that up. And the U.S. is comprised. If you take that group of people, they outnumber the Caucasians and outnumber the blacks. But most racism from both sides, white and black, goes towards the brown skin. And it's not being, no one's leading that charge on, saying, hey, this is wrong. But I think it's a cultural thing also. Most brown-skinned people like ourselves tend just to blow it off. They don't take anything personal. It's like, okay, it's fine. We tend to think more logically on things to where we're just not getting bothered with it. And I think a lot of it too, if you start looking at the culture of a lot of the brown skin, very much religious, based, where a lot of it based off of God, love thy neighbor, just forgive, it's all right, move on. There's a class system which has nothing to do with white, brown, or black. It's just a class system of rich and not rich. Rich people have connections. That's how it is. It's called networking. I've learned it coming from being very poor, and I've built my network, and my network is worth more than my actual dollars, because I have connections to get things done. Now, that's different. That's not an equity thing. That's a networking thing. That's opportunities, networking, and building yourself. Now, everyone has to start from somewhere. People come from adversity, not by being given things. And the strength of a character, of a person, comes from the failures or the doors being shut. Because then they come back and say, I want that door open. How can I get that door open? And they come back stronger and smarter. So we build character based off of that. America was built off of that thing. American spirit's built on adversity. And that is why I tell people, yes, America is great. Because we look at adversity not as a roadblock, but as a challenge. I may not get through this right now, but I will get through it.
So going back to what you said about your main thrust, or one of your main thrusts, mental health in the schools. So, but it's not only just the mental part of it. So in order to have total health, you have to deal with the other stuff. So how do you?
Yeah, I mean that's huge. And you know, obviously for myself, being 48, I try to keep more mentally balanced. I think there's different aspects. One is your mind, you know, keeping your mind healthy. And keeping your mind healthy is actually looking through a prism that's a little bit different. Prism, hope, and faith. I think right now we don't have enough of that. You know, we don't have enough of faith in anything. And it could be faith. It doesn't have to be faith in a God, but you have to have faith in something. And right now, I think our kids, because we put so much negativity into their head about the world and about our country, there's no faith in our country. So we have kids that have faith in almost nothing at all, only negative. So can you imagine having no faith, not even into a God, but not even into your country, not having faith in your country or love of your country? You know, can you imagine what you're going through? You know, it's a life of being lost and in this negativity and despair. And I've seen it. I think what we need to look at really is in the mind of people. What are we putting into the mind? You got to have something like that. You know, positive faith into something. And the second one is, you know, your health. You know, physically healthy. You know, being able to explore things, enjoy things, do things in life. It requires physical health. It also reduces the stress. There's not enough of that in schools. I know they're cutting out, you know, PE out of school systems. You know, I know parents are trying to push it back into the school system, but they're pushing them out. And I think that's a disservice because we need kids to relieve stress. You know, we have it right now, especially in Fairfax County with our kids. You know, you get kids that are pressured a lot, even by parents. You know, good grades, the pressure of all these different things, and then adolescent. And on top of that, coming from COVID, where everyone's locked in, now you're getting all these kids and putting them into a school society now. And now you have Twitter and all this other social media with 15 seconds of fame. Cyberbullying's increased because now someone could just cyberbully you anywhere as opposed to when we were kids. They can only bully you at school, maybe when they saw you at the mall or something, you know, but, you know.
Now it's everywhere.
Now it's everywhere. You can't go away from it. So the health aspect, internally, the stress relieving, that's an important aspect of that. So you got your mind and you got your body. It has to be in balance. And right now, I think that we're out of balance.
Quick segue on physical health. You're very fit for 48. You said you're 48,
yeah, I'm turning
right?
49.
So what physical regimen do you do?
So I do a mixture. So I've learned, you know, through my time, it was always physical fitness. But as you get older, your body can't endure as much. So mine is very functional strength training, where I'm doing more of high reps, functional stuff that I actually would mimic things I do in the real world. Mm-hmm. I do more of that stuff. So I try to keep my workouts more towards keeping me physically fit to be able to do my job.
Thinking back when you were growing up, did you ever entertain the idea of going to politics?
No, not at all.
So this is completely out of the blue.
I'm actually an introvert.
Okay.
I'm 100% introvert. I think being in, especially the CIA, made me become an extrovert. I think my salvation in 2015 made me become more of an extrovert. For me, when I speak in public, it's not like I want to go pick that mic up. It's not like I want to stand in front of the crowd and try to speak. I just learned how to change that mindset. So I fight it every single time. Like I said, I'd rather not.
So the path you took from back then to where you are now, if that didn't happen, where do you think you would have been?
I don't even know. I could tell you the path really started off when I was 16. So I grew up in the ghetto. And at 16, no 16-year-old should be out past midnight. And it was actually my birthday. I just turned 16. And I'm walking with the rest of my birthday cake that my girlfriend got me, walking home. And a car rolls up. The back seat window rolls down. A shotgun comes out, points right at me. And, he says, what do you claim, blood? And I couldn't go anywhere. I was like, nothing. It's my birthday. I'm just walking home. Humble, everything. Decided to roll up and leave. And from there, I was like, this is not what I want. Not what I want to do. And so we continued on. I continued on and trying to navigate by myself. And I think if it wasn't for that moment in time, I would still be in the same situation. There was nothing dramatic in my life that would have changed it. I would just be floating through. I think God had to really do that to me, do a wake up. And then on top of that, had to put people in my life to keep me going along this path. I don't think anything's by chance. I think it's destiny. So no, I think, you're only limited by yourself. And that's why I'm a very big proponent of mentorship, inspiring. That's why when I tell people about equity, of not keeping your aspirations, open to anything, believe in yourself and others need to believe in you. Instead of equity, I want more mentorship. The mentorships will solve mental health, because some kids can't talk with their parents about certain things because they feel, I don't want to disappoint my mom or dad, or my mom and dad won't understand. But a good mentor that is more of a trusted friend could come in there and just be a mentor towards that person and say, hey, listen, let me help guide you and be that mediator between the family and the child. I think there's more from that will solve a lot of mental health stuff than anything else. And that's why I'm working with certain groups out of Maryland, and it's called 18th Man.
What was it?
It's called 18th Man.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So what they do is they provide mentorship. I said, hey, I would love to start looking at opening a chapter up here in Fairfax. So we can have more adult males like myself will go into community, work with the kids, and say, hey, listen, these are opportunities let's inspire these kids to be more, to do more. Investing in our kids is huge, and that solves mental health more than anything. It solves mental health.
That's actually a big part of why I do these interviews with ordinary people like you and me. It's, the traditional path before was go to college, and then get a job, get married, have a mortgage, all that stuff, and that's it. But many of our young people now are lost.
Yeah.
They don't know what path to take, how to get to where they want to be, or if they even think of what they want, for the future. So I interview people who started out doing something, ended up doing different things, and how they got there. So from you, I heard training, I heard mentorship, I heard fortitude, mental health, physical health, faith.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up? I mean, it's just everything's there, but
it's just no, I think, like I said, all those things is what I believe in, what makes me who I am. And one of the faults I do have is I believe in people. To a fault to where I believe so much in people that I personally would sacrifice a lot of myself because of that belief in people. And what you want to do in the world, and if you want to sum this up, it's not about you. It's about what you can do and how can you impact the lives of others in this world. I can tell you this, I did that Operation Ukraine and I made no money off of it. Only because there was a life that needed to be saved. And it was through my faith and me giving. Sometimes it's not about money. It's about what you give to the world. How can you make an impact to help others? And if anything, if anyone could pull from this whole, interview is that what are you doing to make an impact in the world to help others? And it doesn't have to be a grand impact. I'm not talking about you marching down in Washington or anything, but how you impact the everyday life of a kid, of a child, of a homeless person that you see every single day. And that's what life is about.
Very well said.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Tony, for granting me this interview. Love to hear your opinions, what you were and what you are now. Great going, man. It's great going.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us. And we'll see you next time.